Hey everyone, welcome to Drawing from Nature Observation. It is a 6-part class. We will be learning some drawing techniques and exploring the fauna and flora of Eastern Canada. Let me introduce myself. My name is Iona and I have been a visual artist for over 20 years. I have also quite a bit of experience in design and traditional arts, contemporary arts, as well as communications and media. Anyway, I'm going back to basics today with my favorite topic, drawing from nature. I took my first drawing class when I was 16 and it really changed my life trajectory, and I'm here to share with you some different techniques and some different practices that you can use to improve your drawing ability. Drawing is one of the most amazing skills to learn because it is a completely transferable skill. So no matter what type of work you do or what type of work you would like to do, drawing can actually improve your ability in that job. So it's something that you can take with you, you can improve. It will also bring you in a state of observation and calm mindfulness, and it can be a really restful and relaxing practice. A restful pause during your busy life. Our first skill is going to be the warm-up. So we are going to be trying our 2 pencils. There is the HB, which is a school pencil. This one's from my son's school kit, and this is a 4B drawing pencil. So we are going to work different types of lines to warm up, applying pressure at different weights, and just warming up our hand, trying short strokes, long continuous strokes, very light, and very dark. And this exercise should take you about 10 minutes. So enjoy. My favorite line is the continuous line that alternates in weight. So when you draw, a lot of beginner artists really admire bold, confident lines. But every type of line is actually okay. And you can get a lot from learning to apply pressure differently. Of course, there's the broken line as well, that people like to refer to. So all types of line are going to be okay. And as you practice, you're going to kind of develop your own preferences and your own style. So this class is really going to be about what you put into it. So of course, if you practice every day, you're going to see a much bigger improvement. And I'm here to guide you. I also have good office hours, And that's going to be announced in the WhatsApp group. So you could always meet with me one-on-one and we can go over your drawing techniques. Okay, so right now I'm going to work on the pinecone drawing. It's just a super simple shape to begin with. And we do have photos in our shared Google Drive, which I'll be posting in our WhatsApp group. Or if you are, listening to this, but you're not registered for my class, just message me and I can help you out. We are working with gesture right now. So gesture is loose, it is light, and it is about sketching the shape in a very kind of loose and gestural way. It's not about perfect lines. It's probably going to be erased after. It's just providing the structure for your more confident line work. So take your light pencil and just start sketching out the edges and any cracks that you see, any lines that you see within the shape. Again, loose and not final. Just getting a sense of placement. This is the first step of our drawing process, and it's always going to be the same. I'm going to introduce you to the next steps in future classes. I also encourage you to use our shared Dropbox, and if you do have some photos that you've taken or that inspire you that you want to share with the group, please share them with us. Of course, you can research images on the internet or get objects from nature, such as what I'm doing. I really do encourage you to really work with the details that you notice. And so get out there, get out in the cold. I know it's a little bit cold right now. Take your camera, take a bag for collecting things. And just remember that your drawings, what will make them unique is your unique perspective and what interests you, what you find beautiful. And so we can start to build up our drawing practice that way. Okay, this is my gesture drawing. Next, I am going to do some line work. Of course, I've done quite dark just for media purposes, but really we should be working much lighter. Now I'm going to go ahead with a darker color and I'm going to start the line work. Of course, if you were drawing an animal or a tree, you'd be more concerned with proportion, and that's something we'll talk about next class. But right now, I think it's a pretty simple shape. So I'm just going to go from gesture to line work. That was the step. So I'm going to go slow now. And it is something that is not in the logic and language part of the brain. Always remember, you're observing more than you're drawing. This is about noticing how all the pieces fit together. And it can take as long as you need to. What I like to do is observe where shadows fall and do a slightly darker line, harder pressure to give it more relief. We are not doing texture today, and we are not doing shading. Just focusing on pure line drawing. My first love, and I hope it will be yours too. Feel free to play music that gets you in the flow. And yeah, I'd give myself a good half an hour to 45 minutes with this. Don't hesitate to erase as well. A simple vinyl eraser will do. If you hear background noises, that's my son and husband. My son is staying home from school today to help his daddy do some house renos. So there's a lot going on in the background. Feel free to mute me if you need to. Observing nature is one of those skills that always gives back. It can be a source of so much refreshment, positive feelings, rest. And of course, I forgot to mention here that this is a white pine cone from the white pine tree. Also remember that this practice is really for you. And so don't feel pressured to draw a certain way or, immediately share everything you do. You can, of course, if you want to. That's awesome. But just remember that this is a special time for you. And that's where the focus is. Notice every crevice, every little detail. We're really not in the logic part of the brain here. It's really about present moment, shutting off the criticism, the inner criticism, and just going with the flow. And that is why the gesture drawing is so important, because we want to make sure when we get into detail, all the pieces fit together. Notice the holes, cracks. This pine cone has actually started to open a little bit because since we had our live session, it's been in my studio. It was quite closed before. So if you find this particular one challenging, there's a photo in our shared folder where you can find the picture of the closed pine cone. It's just a lot easier because you see the scales open up when it dries out. I love doing this, guys. It's so nice to be able to share this with you. We're such a great group, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you all individually. And of course, if you're catching up later on and not during the live, you can just go ahead and book a meeting with me, and we can go over your questions. I also put, the materials list. I put colors as well, different recommendations for color. That is totally optional, guys. A pencil and an eraser will do, but I just wanted to give people options because this can be really fun as well. But if you are intimidated by the long material list, don't be. Honestly, just an HB, a 4B, dollar store pad of paper. This one was $2. Should be enough for you. Went a bit long here. Long. I guess I should have checked my proportions. Maybe I was feeling a bit overconfident this morning. I love this, you guys. It's so relaxing. This and if you are following after our previous class, the Islamic art class, then you will know that nature is a huge starting point of inspiration for that type of geometric art. And you can derive a lot of ratios, color palettes, textures from observing the natural world. So they really go hand in hand, especially for people who want to design their own patterns. All right, so I'm gonna go back, darken the areas I want to darken, erase the areas that are just I did have an eraser here, but I think there's a bit of a self-service vibe in my art studio with my children, so I think that now I'm just using this. But next class we'll have the white eraser, and that will be a little bit more efficient. Although Just observe how the shapes kind of curl around one another. You know, guys, I just want to encourage you and let you know that nobody's born knowing how to draw. Everything comes down to practice. And the more you give yourself the opportunity to just sit down and get in your flow, you're going to see drastic changes. I just know it. Right. So it's kind of tempting not going into shading, but I really wanted to keep this project super simple for today. So no, the only apparent shading is going to just be from the gesture drawing. So important topic we'll be discussing next class, negative space. This is the space around your object and is something very important to consider when drawing. So we will get deep into that in our next session, inshallah. Guys, that was so much fun. I did go ahead and record a bonus session as well. If you want to draw a blue flag iris with me, that is the next topic. Totally optional. Here we go. So you guys, unfortunately this flower is not in season right now because it is currently November here. So, remember the gesture. So, what I've done is just gone ahead and printed it in I've printed it in black and white, which is actually going to be very helpful to line drawing. So we also have the picture on our shared drive. So if you want to give it a crack, and remember that the gesture is not final and it's really just very loose, and we're just trying our best to nail that shape. Don't hesitate to take as long as you need and erase as needed. So I'm going off the page already. It's so funny. I had this eraser on my desk and I just vanished. Why am I not surprised? I have 3 little kids, guys, so they very, very much love the art studio. Mommy's art studio. So what I'm doing here is with a gesture, I am focusing on getting a sense for the shape, getting a sense of the shape. And that's something we're going to be looking at in future classes of how to like sculpt the shape. Right now it's mostly edges and some basic details. You know, but I do kind of want to get a sense for, you know, is it a cylinder? Is it flat? Like, what am I drawing? And this understanding of the shape is really going to help us understand shading later on. So it's really good to start thinking. I can even do a couple little lines like that just to remind myself that stem is a cylinder. This leaf is kind of, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that and just focus on the petals of this beautiful flower. Got one too big here.
Okay, I've got a gesture drawing. I'm pretty happy with how things are lined up. You know, kind of. This is for next class, but we are looking at sort of just how parts relate. You guys are free to pick any type of flower that you want. It does not have to be this one. I just thought this was a particularly beautiful flower that you may enjoy learning about. Okay. That was our gesture. Okay. We are going to eventually next week look at negative space. So that is the space around it. So you kind of, it'll just a little preview for next week, but we will be drawing the shape around rather than the actual shape itself, but all the space around it. And this helps to really define the edges and make sure that the proportions are correct. So proportion, that is when you check to make sure that the sizes are correct. And you can use your pencil to do that, just to measure. You could also draw like little measurement lines. We're going to be looking at that next week in our live, just to make sure that, you know, things do line up. I can see just a bit of. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some line work. This can be done with a 4B. You also have the option to use like a micron pen if you want. That could be really fun as well. So I'm just remembering to press different weights to give a sense of the shape and the shading. These petals are very delicate. And this is, remember, we are just doing line work, also known as contour line. And just fell off the wall. It's important to slow down, guys. Take your time. Again, this exercise is an optional bonus exercise, and it's important to pick something that you really connect with. So if this particular flower does not connect for you, feel free to have your own little photo sash or Google search, or you can, as it is November, you can go maybe to the local florist and grab some flowers and have a look at those as well. Any other time of the year, I'd be outside just picking away. But frost has set in, beautiful, sparkly frost, and all of the flowers and grasses are gone. I do still go out for a little inspiration photo shoots. Guys, go look at the world around me, little details. It really gives me so much pleasure and joy to have those 10-15 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, just to get out the door for the sole purpose of discovering what grows around me. Sometimes I even spy animals, and I take my camera with me, and it just all becomes part of my nature journal. There are so many amazing plants growing around us. Many of them are considered weeds and have incredible medicinal properties that we're not even aware of, and it's so good. I realize now with my phone, like with the apps, with Google search as well, you can actually ID plants really easily and find out more about them. So I encourage you to do that. You can even take some notes in your sketchbook about what you've been learning, share it with us. The white pine, for example, I've been learning about, and the sap or resin is incredible, and it's a remedy for cold. So we did have a taste and a try of that. It was very strong tasting, but it really does deal with sore throat very efficiently. As for our blue flag iris, I'm still learning, and I have spied these in the wild. They're incredibly beautiful. Golden Merciarius. We're lucky to have such a beautiful country as Canada, you guys. We have to protect it. We really do. Protect our nature and our fauna and our flora, and just learn more responsible ways of building, of gardening, of interacting with the natural world. So what's really important here is that we're not shading. So we really have to make sure we get the placement right, understand how things overlap. Guys, this is I'm so happy we're doing this together. Fold. And fold. Oh my gosh. If you want, we could do a full color version of this beautiful flower. Purpley blue is just incredible, guys. And we can derive a color palette from this beautiful flower as well. That'll be a topic for another video, I think.
Guys, I hope that was satisfying. I really look forward to see you next Tuesday at 10:30. It's such a pleasure to meet all of you. You all inspire me. Thank you so much for joining. Please share your drawings with me or on the group if you feel up for it. And don't hesitate to connect and comment and send us your pictures of what has inspired you this week. Take care, everyone. Bye.